Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about the challenge All-Stars 5, Episode 5, titled Rival Pursuit. Last week on the challenge, players swung for rings off speeding trucks, which saw Fessy flinging Amber to another win, and Adam and Steve defended their star for a third straight time, eliminating Ashley and Denisa. Before I dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. As always, my recaps aren't meant to replace the original material, so if you missed the episode, I highly encourage you to seek it out before watching my video. I put a link in the description so you could try Paramount Plus for free and binge tons of challenge and the challenge all-stars. But let's dive into it. The episode starts with Nany and Casey FaceTiming as Kiss Me Through the Phone plays, but the show makes it weird as Adam, Leroy, and Amber have FaceTimes with their children. Kiss Me with the Phone is not a song about FaceTiming babies. Devin FaceTimes Michelle, who tells him that she hard-launched their relationship in a public interview. They're all about each other, and Devin tells us he and Leroy are running the game with Fessy and Amber and Ashley and Dario, with Adam and Steve winning repeated eliminations being their ultimate obstacle. Dario and Leroy are besties outside of the show and are loyal to each other in the game. Frank and Sam are training together and are feeling great about their partnership. They head to their daily challenge, which takes place in the same castle they lived in season 40. They'll be playing Sunday Fun Day. They'll be asked dating game style questions about their partners, and for every answer they get wrong, TJ will add a nasty ingredient to their vanilla shake. In the end, they'll race to drink their shakes, with the fastest team being the daily winners. Round 1 sees them guessing each other's signs to avoid ketchup in their drink. Turbo is a Cancer and makes a joke about cancer. What a comedian. Steve, Fessy, Leroy, and Corey get it wrong and add ketchup to their shake. That's already gross. When asked who's the weakest team, Katie and Veronica choose themselves. So do some others, but Frank and Sam get the most votes. And Turbo has the most asinine answer, saying no one. 4 teams get it wrong and add mayo to their drink.
I hate this drink.
They're asked who is the least trustworthy pair in the house, with Nany, Leroy, Ashley, and Nicole answering no one. Okay, they saw Turbo do it, now they're trying to be strategic, but they shouldn't be allowed to say no one. And it's dumb strategy because they're all getting balsamic vinegar added to their shake. A lot of teams get this wrong, but Frank and Sam have gotten all of theirs right so far. In the final rounds, they have to add durian to the drink, which for me would make this undrinkable. Steve, Nany, Shane, and Sam get it wrong and add to their drink. So they get to the drinking. At least they have a romantic straw situation. The shakes should have been much bigger because they all wharf this down in a few seconds. Then they all start puking. Gross. They check the tapes and weigh the shakes because this challenge was not well thought out. And Frank and Sam are deemed the winners of the daily. Frank is annoyed that he was voted untrustworthy and wants to live up to his new title. And they get to strategizing with Devin's alliance kissing Frank's butt. Sam is feeling herself and they head to the club where Frank and Sam are continuing their plan to flip the house against the strong physical threats. Nicole calls it the We Suck Alliance, and Nicole and Melissa are Frank and Sam's first recruits into the We Sucks. Dario is starting to see things go against his friend Leroy, and he's talking to Corey and Fessy about the potential to send Devin and Leroy against Adam and Steve. Dario seems more just present in this conversation, but Corey sees this as an opportunity to be messy and rat Dario out for being disloyal. At least Corey brings his partner Big T in on this move, and the next day, together, they rat Dario out to Devin. Devin runs this back to Leroy, who's shook and feels dogged by his dog Dario. When Leroy summons Dario, Dario denies his involvement in these conversations, but then Dario starts owning it, admitting that them going into elimination against Adam and Steve would benefit Dario. Devin says Dario is making an enemy of them, and Dario calls Devin a clown, gets in Devin's face, calling Devin a bum and a joke with a pot belly. He even calls Devin ugly, like damn, not ugly. He gets in Devin's face. Devin says Dario's breath stinks. Devin really doesn't know how to fight. It's so sad. They head to the Deliberation where tensions flare when Leroy and Devin call out Nicole for plotting against Nany, which we never saw. Melissa says Nicole needs a muzzle, leash, and cage. Adam votes for Corey. It's just a burn vote, but Corey gets really mad about it. Nicole and Melissa get some votes from star holders, but Adam and Steve get the majority and are sent into the jungle by the house against whoever Frank and Sam choose. Devin and Leroy tried to call in a favor from Frank and Sam, who they made a deal with when they were in power. Devin wants them to nominate Nicole and Melissa. How creative. Throw in the women. So they head to the elimination where Frank and Sam opt to send in Devin and Leroy to face Adam and Steve, 2 star-holding guy teams, which is obviously the most logical choice that Devin absolutely doesn't understand. They'll be playing over a barrel. Both teams have a lane with different colored barrels. They have to do a barrel roll, walking on their barrels to transfer them across their lane, and when all of their barrels are transferred, both players need to complete a number puzzle with their barrels. So they get started with Adam and Steve getting a slight lead on transferring the barrels. Adam is freakishly good at this. Adam and Steve get started on their puzzle first. Steve is the first to complete his and joins Adam to help him. Together they solve the second puzzle before Devin and Leroy solve one. So Adam and Steve win this elimination. Devin and Dario have one last scuffle on the way out, but Dario does does feel bad for Leroy. I thought Adam and Steve would get to give Devin and Leroy a star to a team of their choice, but TJ says we'll have to wait until next week to find out what happens with that. So we have to say goodbye to Devin and Leroy here, starting with Leroy, who now has his 15th loss, and I'm torn between holding him accountable for sucking and saying this really wasn't his fault. He seemed well liked and had strong relationships in the game. Ultimately, he really did nothing this season, and it was a lot of the standard fare for him, talking about his kids repeatedly and then being eliminated. And Devin, who I found especially insufferable this season. Ever since he won, he's gotten such a big head and sense of entitlement. He wins a star in the premiere, which doesn't help with that, and his alliance runs the house the first few episodes, systematically targeting the women, which got under my skin. And of course, he wanted to eliminate another girl-girl pair in this episode. I'm glad Dario ripped into him in this episode because he deserved to be knocked down a peg. I'm Devin'd out for a while, though I am expecting at least one of Devin, Tori, or Michelle to be on the next season of The Traitors. Potentially some combination of them. This was a really good episode. Barring the anticlimactic milkshakes they had to have, Frank and Sam's house flip coming together, and the We Suck alliance making this happen was really fun and felt like a turning point for the better. I wonder if they can keep up that momentum. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of Devin and Leroy's departure and the shift in house dynamics? If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm also recapping Survivor 48, Deal or No Deal Island, and The Traitors. I'll be back next Wednesday with more challenge. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye!